Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow. Say hi, Terry.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Terry and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So this week, we continued our West Wing watch in its final weeks.
Yeah.
With the episode The Last Hurrah. But first, The Good Place is back.
Yay!
So the episode was called You've Changed, Man. And Chidi, for one, has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Has become like the idealized Chidi, I guess. He's no longer indecisive. He's very confident. He enjoys wearing roller skates when talking about philosophical concepts.
Who is this guy?
Yeah. And you can tell that Eleanor's
charming,
like,
but still.
Eleanor's charmed, but also like, hey, what happened to my weird little boyfriend that I had before?
Yeah, he's like the bionic Chidi now, you know? Who's bigger, stronger, more confident.
Yeah, all those things.
I don't know.
This one, it was a good episode and I enjoyed it, but you did have to like really pay attention because there was a lot of like theory and it
was a lot.
Especially because there were like multiple sort of options that they burned through as to how they're going to fix the afterlife and the point system and all that.
It seems to me their ultimate solution is not that different from like reincarnation, which I think they said on the
podcast they did.
That it was, they weren't inventing the wheel here necessarily. Right. And that makes me a little leery because it's like, okay, is this the part where we have an agenda? Mm-hmm. And we've stopped being silly and fanciful. Right. But, okay. My feeling about the episode was, it was fine. It was fine. Didn't hate it. Fine. Didn't love it. Everything is fine. There were some cute touches getting to see all the little Janet voids was fun. Right. And the completely random dropping in of Timothy Oliphant was amusing. Is it extra hot great that calls him Timothy off with his pants?
That is.
That is, and he was just as Timothy Olyphant-y as he could be. I was a little bit spoiled for it because I didn't watch it right away, which means I have to like not go on social media until I watch it. And I was really good at looking away from everything, but I saw one tweet that said, yeah, having Timothy Oliphant there would make me pay attention too. And I'm like, And sure enough, that's what it was. So, did it seem completely what the heck to you?
Yes.
With no warning?
Yeah, I mean, very definitely surprising because I had no idea. And I also don't watch Deadwood or Justified. Right. So, a lot of it is lost on me because I'm not a super fan like the judge.
Right. I thought it was amusing that they mentioned on the podcast that they went back and put things in about her being crazy for him once they knew he could be on it.
Right.
Alrighty then. Because we need more characters in this thing. But it just seemed like the plan is not that different from the plan that we started this season with, that they were going to have to recreate the original experiment. Mm-hmm. And I guess in that case, they only had one time, and now we're proposing to have unlimited times. Right. But it was fun. It's okay. They had good moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we'll see what they do with their remaining several episodes, because that's what this show does, is like do something that seems like, okay, we resolved it, there's the answer. Which, by the way, was the name of the last episode, The Answer.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I would have been perfectly happy if that had been the last episode of the series. We'll see if I still feel that way with the actual last episode of the series. But that was such a satisfying episode. I still have it on my DVR.
Yes.
Deleted this week's, but
you saved that one. Yes, it was.
So
great.
We shall see. I'm wondering if they're bringing back all the marbleized Janets now. or if they're just going to be the most dangerous room to walk through.
Well, they did collect them all in like a bucket, so...
Oh, okay, good.
They're not all on the floor.
Because otherwise it's definitely a environmental hazard.
A tripping hazard or whatever they say.
That's right.
Yes, it was a nice touch that Disco Janet's marble was a disco ball.
Yes, that was very fun. And that bad Janet marbles can fart, apparently.
Yes. Oh, dear. So silly. I will say that they were talking on the podcast about how they all could not control themselves from laughing when Jason said the titular line, "You've changed, man," to Sean. And honestly, it just flew right by me. It didn't. I probably chuckled, but I definitely didn't stop what I was doing for an hour laughing.
Right.
I feel like it's one of those you had to be there.
I was just going to say that, yes. That just sometimes you and your friends are in a mood and something is hilarious, and then you try to explain to people later why you were rolling in laughter, and they're going,
it's not funny. Not funny. Yeah, I think that was the situation here.
Yes. And, Maya Rudolph, always enjoyable as the judge. And as I didn't necessarily need to hear on the podcasts that they gave her a lot of leeway, because it's pretty clear.
To ad lib, you mean? Yeah.
If you're going to give someone leeway, she's somebody to give it to. And there was a post on Twitter from Brian Grubb today about how all TV shows should just have a little Maya Rudolph in them. Just have her, instead of, some people say she should have her own show, like some other, former Saturday Night Live people. He says, no, let's just let her pop up in all different shows and just kind of work her magic. So, yeah. Yeah. I did watch the Bill Murray Christmas special again, and she was in that, and she was so good. So, yeah, spread her around. Only 3 more episodes possible of her in this one. Although why the judge is still hanging around, I'm not sure. But
yeah, well, we'll have to see. Interesting.
I don't know. If Timothy Oliphant is still, if Janet can just kind of make him hang around.
Then the judge will remain.
Absolutely. And be in a good mood.
Yes.
And possibly decide not to use the garage door opener of doom.
Right. The cancel earth thingy or whatever she called it. So
I did the thing that made me laugh more than the allegedly hilarious Jason line was when they were talking about how Manny Jacinto was playing with the garage door opener of doom and dropped it on the floor and it fell apart, and Maya Rudolph yelled out, "I'm a mom! I saw that coming!" I could relate to that. You see your kid doing something and saying, "You can break that. You're going to break that. You're going to break that. Yep, you broke that." That's the thing I would have been laughing with tears in my eyes when I heard. But anyway, it's a good show. It's always going to be a good show. Some episodes are great. Some episodes I'm not happy with. And this one was fine. It's my final verdict.
Final verdict.
Yes. Move on to the next. To the next episode and to the next topic.
Right. So, moving from the Good Place to the West Wing or the greater Washington, D.C. area, because we really weren't in the West Wing that much for this episode. It was a lot about...
one obligatory CJ scene and then, a couple of them.
Right.
CJ and Margaret got a little airtime.
Yes. And a lot of Vinnick kind of moping around. Like, what am I twiddling his thumbs? What am I supposed to... When he ordered coffee saying Senator... He started to say Senator Vinnick, and then he was like, "Oh, just Arnie," and then the guy called him Ernie.
I know.
I did laugh out loud at that time.
The lowest blow.
Exactly.
After a series of low ones. Aw.
But I did enjoy how that whole story played out with him and Santos, because Santos he's so clever without being wily. Like he's strategic and he is creative, but he's not, he doesn't have bad intention. He's not doing it for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
I agree.
And I do believe that back during the campaign, I said I would like to see a Santos Vinnick or Vinnick Santos ticket.
Right.
I feel vindicated at this moment.
Yes. Not quite getting that, but they are working together. I love the idea of him coming on as the Secretary of State.
It's perfect. It's really great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is. So I really liked that. And I loved the way his staff just jumped on it. I mean, the Vinnick staff, like, yes, go do that. After, such sad looks being exchanged amongst them alike.
Like,
he's
really pretty deluded right now.
That's right. Who's going to tell him he can't do this? There's no way. Oh, yeah. So that was just such a nice, I mean, like not necessary for them to ever revisit Vinnick again, but I'm so glad they did and put this bow on his thing.
And it's just it's kind of that continuing example of Santos doing his own thing, his own way. I mean, like, he will take advice from other people, but he will make the decisions, and they will surprise everyone else.
Yes. And that's good to know. That's good to see little scenes of that, to know that, he's going to be presidential. He's not a creation that's just going to do what he's told. So that's great. I liked that a lot. And poor Helen Santos starting to come to grips with the enormity of what is going on here. You can't stay in the house with the kids because they would have to completely seal off the street. With the gatehouses on either side. And you can't, you go to see the White House where you're going to live, and you have this enormous staff, but you can't get rid of any of them because then you would have to fire them.
Right.
And every little, people are decorating for your kids' bedrooms and all this stuff. I mean, I guess, Bartlett had been a governor, so maybe Abby had a little more of an idea going in. I guess a congressperson doesn't really get quite that much pomp and circumstance. Their family lives in their district.
Right, and half the time they're sleeping on the floor in their office or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned before how I had read Michelle Obama's book, and you get a little bit of this in that book as well. How just surreal the whole situation is. And she even talked about like the kids' schools and like what a production it was to just take them to school. And so eventually basically her mom just did it, or even just the Secret Service did it, because if she went along, then it's just like a whole nother level. So
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at least Helen will have Donna there to
That's
help
right.
her out.
Yes. And they can share a mutual animosity toward Amy Gardner. So they can bond.
That's right. Exactly. And what else was going on in this episode? I'm trying to think. Those were Kazakhstan. They sure mentioned Nancy McNally a lot.
They did. We didn't see her, but they got mentioned. Yes. But too bad. She's on the short list for Secretary of State, but she's not going to
get it. But UN ambassador, I'll take.
UN ambassador.
I'll take that for her.
Yes, that would be very good. I like projecting into the future of her doing these things. So that's it's just things are perking, and we can imagine Josh and Donna off on a beach somewhere.
That's right. Yes, I was a little bit. It was kind of nice to have a Josh-free episode.
And Sam is in an office somewhere doing work unseen.
Yes.
We can imagine. That's why everything's running so smoothly.
Just as Josh needed a break from the stress of it all, we needed a break from the stress of Josh.
We really did. And he's going to come back and find out that Santos made Vinnick Secretary of State. This is what happens when I leave. You did what?
It was a good plan.
It was a good plan.
All right. Well, next week we'll see what happens, because we will talk about the next episode, which is called Institutional Memory.
Yes. It's a CJ episode.
Okay. And there will also be, of course, a new episode of The Good Place, which is called Mondays. Am I right? But that's going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.